Morning, everyone. Let's get ready. So, sit down, cross your legs, and sit tall. So today is International Day of Yoga and the summer solstice. And lots of reasons to celebrate. So roll your shoulders back, bring your hands down, lift the sides of your trunk up. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale, take the shoulders back more, and lift the chin slightly. Allow the weight to settle in your hips, thighs to release. Close your eyes, bring your palms together, and relax your face and jaw. Take a few soft, slow, smooth inhalations and exhalations. And as it's International Day of Yoga, I'm going to sing the invocation for you. This is the invocation to Lord Patanjali, also known as the father of yoga, who systematized the system 2,500 years ago into the 196 sutras, which describe the process so well for us. It starts with 3 Oms and ends with an Om, so please join in if you can. Inhale. Yogena chittasya padena vacha malam sharirasya chavaijakena yopakarotam pravaram munina Patanjalim prachaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram shankhachakrasiddharinam sahasrashirasam shvetam pranamami Patanjalim Hare Om. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale, bow the head down. And pay your respects to Lord Patanjali, to all the yoga teachers down through the centuries. And to the Iyengar family, who've given us so much. And release your hands, open your eyes, and lift your head. Bed. On your bed. On your bed. Winston has his audio plant over there. Yes, now he's lying down. Right, come up to standing. We're going to look at the elements of Surya Namaskar, salute to the sun today. On your bed, on your bed. And let's start with a chair, just to loosen the spine. So put the chair against something firm. Hands onto the chair, step back a little, and on the balls of your feet, bring your pubic bone towards the seat of the chair. So you're measuring up to see if you can get a good lift to the sides of the trunk and keep the legs firm. Remember, lower back. So when you come back into dog pose here, draw the sides of your waist back. Keep the sides of your waist back, as you bring your pubic bone forwards. And then start to swing. Keep up on the toes, don't go down onto the heels. And then as your hamstrings, the backs of your thighs release, you can extend forwards and take a moment to stretch the soles of your feet back and see if your heels will go down. Make sure your feet are level, parallel, and apart. And do this about 10 times. And you can speed up, you can slow down, depending on your condition this morning. And then finish in Untitled. Walk forwards and come back up to standing. Now, let's take that stage further. The chair, we can carry on the chair, so I'm going to incrementally increase the work here. So you can carry on the chair, repeat that. Or you can take a pair of bricks and put these on the floor, corresponding to where your hands would be. And come down. And you have your fingers curling over the edge of the brick. Tuck the toes under and straighten the legs. Come to this position. So thighs firm, kneecaps gripped, legs lifting completely off the floor, chest and chin forwards, and your hands are by your ribs. They're not under your shoulders. They're a little bit further back. See if you can grip the elbows in towards each other and move the thoracic spine deeper in. Look forwards. And then with one almighty push, lift yourself up, push yourself back. And then come forwards again, but don't let the pubic bone drop to the floor. So, Adho Mukha Svanasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Repeat that 2 or 3 more times. Sides of the waist back, thighs away from the floor. Now, some of you may need to take your knees down, but it shouldn't be a collapse. Do you see? So you resist and let your legs go down. And also, one of the issues with letting the legs go down is we sink between the arms. You need to keep the shoulders down and the chest up and back. And then walk your feet forwards and come up to standing. Good. Third one is to do from the floor. Now, if you can feel tightness in your back, the alternative is to lie down, feet apart, and feet wider than your hips. Rest there for a moment and then bring your feet together and one at a time, pull your knees over your chest. And hold. And bend and hold. Okay? For the rest of you, we can start from Adho Mukha Svanasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, and you may go over onto the tops of the feet and then roll back and forwards and back. Quite an awkward movement there. So see if you can either stay on the tops of your feet or roll over the toes onto the, stay on the tops of your toes or roll over the toes onto the tops of your feet. So all these different options you have. And then when you've tried that, come back up to standing. And come to the wall and do half Uttanasana. Feet apart. Sides of the waist up towards the ceiling this time. Outer hips back, outer thighs back. Press into the heels. Spread the toes, lift the thighs. Really use your legs. Open your armpits towards the floor. Take the thoracic spine in, head between the arms, navel up towards the spine. And then walk towards your hands to come up. Turn, take the feet very wide on the mat. Your heels are on the outer edge. Hands on the hips, lift the chest, lift the chin. Raise the arms and come forwards and down, Uttanasana. Hands on the floor or hands on bricks if you can't reach, so you can be here. Now those of you with the hands on the floor, be on your fingertips, look forwards, take the dorsal spine and thoracic spine in. And then everyone press into the feet. Bring your hands onto your hips and come up to standing. Feet together. Good. Now, what are the elements of Surya Namaskar that can undo all our good endeavors? Chaturanga Dandasana. I'm going to show you some ways of practicing that. And we can come in up to it from the floor or down to it from Adho Mukha Svanasana. So up to it from the floor is here. And we lift, take the chest off the floor and look forwards and then come down. Doesn't work for me. We can come down into it, however briefly, from Adho Mukha Svanasana, look forwards and then down or back up again. So you can come Chaturanga, Adho Mukha in that way, elbows in. But what if we can't do any of that? That's as far as I can do. I've got a plate and 8 screws in this arm. So you can imagine getting back to doing Chaturanga was quite a challenge for me. I'll show you a few tricks. Take a belt and put it just above your elbow bones. Now that is critical, that positioning. It's just above the elbow bones, not just below, not halfway down your forearm, not halfway up your upper arm. You have to be able to get your head inside the loop when you take your arms up. So just above your elbow bones. You come into Adho Mukha Svanasana here. And the belt should be tight enough that you can, it'll support the arms, but not so tight that it stops you from moving. Contain the elbows, extend the chest forwards, and as you come down, the belt forms a hammock under your lower ribs. And you can even push and come back up. It's important, I think, to notice if you push harder with one hand or the other in this. But the great thing about the strap option is if you've got a big chest, and that's the heavy part of you in this pose, this will support that. But it also contains the elbows. It keeps the elbows in. Have a go at that. The strap goes just above the elbow bones and come down into it from Adho Mukha Svanasana. Heels back, stretch the heels back, lift the thighs up, chest forwards, heels back, chest forwards. So you're almost taking your chest forwards with your chin, even while you're keeping the heels back. Another way of practicing this is to take the heels to the wall and try that action. So if you're in a confined space, lucky you, press your heels into the wall and that'll give you even more support. Okay. Let's try some other options. So if that doesn't work for you, or you might like to try this anyway, because without the strap, this option gives you a chance to really work on the arms and to understand the shapes they have to make and how to keep the elbows in. And you're almost supporting the ribs, you're not, but that's how it feels. So you bring a bolster here and come into the pose, and the bolster acts like a brake on the thighs. So you can go a little bit lower perhaps than when you're using the strap. See, that's a nice one. And you can move the bolster further forwards, and you can have it supporting pelvis. That's far too comfortable. The pelvis there. Oh. And you can also do the pose with the bolster like that, so it supports the whole of the front of the body. So you've now got, when you want to practice chaturanga, great pose to practice first thing in the morning. It gets everything going, doesn't it? You can try those methods to give you other ideas, other ways of working. And then when you come to doing the pose within Surya Namaskar, you've got a better understanding. You don't just flop into it. Okay. Come back to Ardha Uttanasana. So walk towards the wall, bring your hands into the wall, walk your feet back, feet apart. Take the sides of the waist up, the sides of the hips back, lift the front thighs, spread the soles of the feet. And let your breathing begin to settle. And when you're ready to, come back up to Tadasana. Good. Where are we? Okay. So now we're going to practice the full sequence of Surya Namaskar. And we'll take it slowly, just for those of you that don't know, but it's also rather nice to do the first one slowly. It's like the first pancake you make, isn't it? It's kind of the most delicious. It's not necessarily the prettiest. Okay, so start with your feet slightly apart in Tadasana. Raise your arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Lift your chest, bring your palms together and bring your hands down in front of your chest. Now your shoulders are not forwards at this point, so you haven't got this action going on. Chest dropping, shoulders forwards, okay? So when we bring our palms together, we don't take the upper arms forwards. If your upper arms are here in Tadasana, when you bring your palms together, they stay there. It's a relaxed, gentle greeting. Namaskar. Arms up and forwards. Uttanasana. Now, if you need bricks, you have bricks here. And you may like to have them for the other parts of the work that we were doing. Bend your knees if you can't reach. Bend your knees if you can't reach. So let's say you're almost there. Now you can jump or step your feet back, but let's take the right foot back first, then the left foot back. Dog pose. Get the thighs working. Face up dog. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Now from here we're going to go down into Chaturanga and then up again into Urdhva Mukha. Blink if you've missed it. Try not to collapse. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Or simply wait in Urdhva Mukha Svanasana if you can't manage that movement. Now you're going to take your right foot forwards and it may get stuck halfway, in which case pick it up and bring it the rest of the way. Left foot forwards, bending the knees if you can't reach the floor. Then shoot your arms forward, shoot your arms up, straighten your legs, bring your palms together, hands down. Got it? Let's do that on the left. Namaskar. Shoulders back, chest lifting. Urdhva Hastasana, arms up. Uttanasana, hands down, bend your knees if you need to. Left foot back, right foot back. You've got to really push and lift. And if you need bricks at that point, that can be helpful. So Adho Mukha Svanasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, face up dog, lift the thighs, Chaturanga Dandasana, back to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now left foot forwards. Sorry, yes, left foot forwards. Right foot forwards. Uttanasana. Then swing your arms through to Urdhva Hastasana. Bring your palms together as you bring your arms down. Namaskarasana. And release. Got it? Let's do it again. Let's do it twice more through, okay? Feet together. Or feet apart. Have your bricks if you need them. And you can do this with a strap over your arms, if that helps you in Chaturanga. So, Namaskar, Urdhva Hastasana, Uttanasana. You can jump or step your feet back for Adho Mukha Svanasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Chaturanga. Oh, lovely. Urdhva Mukha, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You can jump or step your feet forwards, Uttanasana, Urdhva Hastasana, Namaskarasana, Urdhva Hastasana, Uttanasana. Jump or step your feet back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, and forwards into Chaturanga, Urdhva Mukha, Adho Mukha. Jump or step your feet forwards or walk, however it works for you. Uttanasana, Urdhva Hastasana, palms together, Namaskar. And release. And then go back to the wall, half Uttanasana. Or you can do full Uttanasana, feet slightly apart, turn your heels out. And release down. You can fold the arms. Change the fold of the arms. And then everyone slowly come back up to standing. Take your bolster. Choice now, if you can sit in Virasana, and we don't normally use that pose in these classes because we've got a lot of knees. If you can sit in Virasana, you can do Supta Virasana. You can do it on a bolster, or you can go flat to the floor. So you can do Supta Virasana, or bring the soles of your feet together and Supta Baddha Konasana. And Supta Baddha Konasana from the floor is delicious as well. So with or without a bolster, either Supta Virasana or Supta Baddha Konasana. And let everything go. You'll find that you're still clinging to a lot of energy in the arms, energy in the legs, maybe some responses from the spine, where it's been through so many movements. Relax your face and your jaw. Keep your tongue in the lower palate. Your eyes soften. Your breath will still be reasonably active. Let that slowly release. The shoulders release, chest lifting. you'll, I hope, start to get that much deeper feeling of pleasure, satisfaction, the satisfaction you get through endeavor, through having set aside the mental dialogue that goes on. I can't do this, I won't do this, I don't like this, or it's too much. And, all of that comes with yoga. It comes with life. But in yoga, we start to learn to hear it properly. And we start to learn to set it aside and to move beyond that and to find this new territory that I hope you're in now. We're actually, through some discipline, some zeal, some effort, you find you're in a new paradigm. So those of you in Supta Virasana, come back up to sitting. And then bring the soles of your feet together and lie down in Supta Baddha Konasana. So we're all in the same asana now. See if you can release enough so that every last vestige of that action has calmed down. If you think of it like a sea, you've really disturbed the waters with that practice. Everything has moved, every joint in the body has had to go through its range of movement. And that deeply affects the organic body. So we've really worked, we've really penetrated brain, chest, abdomen, everything. And as we lie here, those waves subside and the water becomes calm again. There's a gentle lapping of the waves on the sand. And then when you're ready to, bring your knees up together, roll over to one side and come back up to sitting and sit up on a lift and cross your legs with the right shin in front. As we did at the beginning, sit tall, lift the spine. So raise the body up from the spine. Raise the arms. Bring the outer elbows in. Roll the inner arms back and turn to the right. Bring the left hand onto the right knee, right hand behind you. You might want a brick behind you to bring the right fingertips down onto. Come back to the center. Raise the arms and turn to the left. Come back to the center, change the cross of your legs. Left shin in front. Raise the arms. Turn to the right. Tap the left shoulder blade in, roll the right shoulder back. Come back to the center. Raise the arms and turn to the left. Tuck the right shoulder blade in, roll the left shoulder back, lift the right side of the trunk up, and come back to the center. And now prepare yourself for Shavasana. So put some warm clothes on, blanket for the head if you need it, blankets for the body if you need them, and sit in the middle of the mat and roll yourself down. When you get to the halfway stage, with your knees bent, feet together, elbows down, head down, hips down. Press into the elbows and the head and tuck the shoulder blades under. And you can push slightly with the feet to draw the skin of the back and the hips down towards the legs. And then one at a time, slide your legs, your feet away, but keep your legs together. And don't spread your feet very wide. Just let the whole of the leg roll outwards on the heel. So the legs are close, but the space all the way up between the thighs. With your hands on your abdomen, take your elbows slightly away from the body and release the backs of your shoulders down. Release the backs of your shoulders down. Now don't disturb your elbows, but unbend your arms and take the backs of your hands to the floor. And at that point, there shouldn't be any equipment in your way. So elbows down, hands on the abdomen, the space up to the armpit. So when you release the backs of the hands to the floor, that space is maintained. The arms aren't flung away from the body. They're released away from the body. And there's nothing disturbing your nervous system. Our skin is very sensitive. We can feel the texture and quality, the warmth, or the coldness of surfaces, even through our clothes. You will know in the back of your body if you're lying on a blanket or a mat, or you'll know those differences. While the body's releasing, let me tell you, in massage training, one of the things that I teach is to take hair, put it under a sheet of paper, and you can feel it with the tip of your finger. Put another sheet of paper on top. Feel again. You would be amazed how many sheets of paper you need before you can't feel that hair anymore. So as a demonstration of sensitivity, it's really illuminating to know where that sensitivity exists in the skin and how critical it is to our nervous quietness, not to have those disturbances, bits of equipment and differences in texture. Let the body release. Let the weight of the body release deeply into the floor. Let the thighs go. If you have restless legs or you want to relax and stay for a while, you can put the bolster over your thighs. Release the jaw. Release the tongue into the lower palate. Soft, slow, smooth inhalation, exhalation. Place no restrictions in the throat, no restrictions in the nasal passages. This is conditioning breath. And restrictions have no place at this point. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining me this morning. Namaste.